Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday evening. This is Stampin' Up with Jaimie. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you're catching this on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. This is my Wednesday night Facebook Lives that I do every Wednesday evening. Below you'll find a link to my blog as well as a link to my store. If you have any questions or want to poke around a little bit, certainly do so. Oh good, Karen, you're on. Whew, I was having some technical difficulties there for a second. I was afraid it wasn't working. Yay! Hi Teresa, good evening. Oh, good. This is literally like the fourth time I've done this. I'm not sure what was going on before, but it was not working. I thought, oh gravy, here we go. Gotta love technology. How's everyone doing tonight? Hi Michelle, hi Karen. And I can see comments on my computer. Excellent. Hello. I'm just taping down my grid paper. I always forget to do it, so I always have to do it live. Here we go. Hi Terry, good evening. How is everyone tonight? Oh, you shared it. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Appreciate feeling the love. Hi Sharon, good evening. Hello. Okay. So I'm excited about tonight's card. I think I say that every week, but I really do mean it every single week. Tonight's card doesn't include any stamping whatsoever. So there's a little bit of ink because I do some braying, which I'll show you that in a second. Oh, thank you for sharing it, Sharon. I so appreciate it. But there's not one stamp set used here. And actually it only uses one set of framelits. So all you really need is like a big shot, a set of framelits, and some cardstock and a brayer. But you really, it doesn't take a whole heck of a lot, which is kind of good. Okay. So let me just show you what I'm using tonight. I'm using all these like different details, the flowers, the wording, as well as like these, what should we call them, flowers or vines? Hi Linda, good evening. Oh, thank you so much. Whatever those things are called. Everything comes from the Well Written Framelits dies. This is a part of, oh, thank you for sharing it. I appreciate it so much. This is part of a bundle, which we're not using the stamp set, but I thought I'd show it to you just so you kind of have an idea as what you could get. With the Well Said stamp set, it's a double set here, and it has, oh gosh, every single phrase and sentiment that you could pretty much imagine. One side here is just kind of like your one words that match the framelits, and then this guy over here is just full of lots of fun punny sentiments. They're just a lot of fun. So you can get this by yourself, or you can bundle it with the framelits that we're going to use tonight. You can also just buy the framelits by themselves as well. And these framelits are chock full. Now I use these, I think I've used them at least, oh boy, like 2 or 3 cards. I've used these a lot already, so you're pretty familiar with them. They come with, let's see, it's all backwards. Baby, Miss, what's that, Bride. Over here we have Sympathy, Birthday, lots of sentiments galore. Again, to go by themselves and to be used separately or to be paired with that stamp set. But it also comes with, and this is what we're going to be using tonight, this, I'm going to call it a vine. I don't know exactly what that is. Oh, you got it today. Yay, Karen. Oh, it's so much fun. This vine, it comes with a bird, a butterfly, a couple of flowers, a heart. And then over here we have this beautiful, like, flowy flower. I don't know how else to say that. So everything that you see, so the vines, the flowers, and the wording all comes from this Well Written Framelits. I love it. Like I said, I can't stop using it. It's kind of an addicting, addicting one. So let's just dive in there tonight. Did I put it away? Hold on. Yeah, I put it away. I already tucked that away. Okay, my card starts off with Granny Apple Green cardstock. This is a nice, vibrant, bright green. And yet not like in your face. It's not quite as bright and neon as Lemon Lime Twist. It's just a bright green. It's really fun. I thought it fit it well. Kind of like a happy, springy kind of card. that I'm using. So I went ahead and I already embossed it. I embossed it using the Pinewood Planks embossing folder. This is one of the thick ones, so be sure to spritz it with water ahead of time because there's so much detail in the embossing folder that it will actually crack your cardstock. So with these ones here, with the dynamic folders, you definitely want to spritz the cardstock ahead of time. But I already did that because I kind of wanted to get a step ahead. So as you can see, there's lots of texture in this, which again, you can always use like the negative or the positive. I'm using the negative, so the indents are going into it. If I wanted to, I'm trying to catch the light. There we go. That's the positive side of it. So all the texture is on the front. Okay, but I'm using that one for tonight. And then next, don't lose any of my flowers. I took a panel of Pool Party cardstock. And this is 3.5 by 4 3/4 inches, Pool Party. And then an ever so slightly 1/8 of inch bigger, wider. So this is measuring 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 of Whisper White. And I just first adhered this down like so. And if you miss any of my dimensions, or sometimes I forget to mention them, I do apologize. I did post it like, I don't know, an hour ago, all of the different dimensions for the card cuts and whatnot on my blog. So you can always catch it, not my blog, on Facebook. Okay, see, I always forget something. I forgot my tear and tape. Because I am adhering cardstock onto textured cardstock, so this has been embossed, I like to adhere it down with tear and tape. Just because the snail adhesive, I find just because it doesn't make complete contact, because there's texture, it tends not to hold it down forever. You know, it can kind of, oop, I almost put it on the wrong side. It can kind of pull up over time, and we don't want that. I do reinforce it with a little bit of snail just for the heck of it, but really the tear and tape is what's holding this down. So just peel that off. Hi, Lori. Good evening. How are you tonight? Now I'm going to aim for straight, man, but for confession time, I put this guy down and it was totally not straight. So I had to pull him up. I had to snip. It was like doing surgery. So my tip when you're trying to adhere something straight is really use your grid paper. If you don't have Stampin' Up's grid paper or any sort of grid, you know, work surface, I highly recommend it, because what I do is I butt my cardstock right up against those horizontal lines on my grid paper, so that my eye is naturally seeing things straight. If I were to like put it like that and try and go straight, it's like my eye is going all wonky. So I don't know. I use the grid paper as kind of like my help to put it straight. And sometimes even then it doesn't work. Honestly, I try. We all try the best, but if you've never peeled up cardstock because it wasn't on straight, you haven't lived. I'm just keeping it real. Okay, so next I'm going to work on these, what I'm calling vines. And I use Granny Apple Green ink and the same size Whisper White that I used to adhere under my Pool Party there. And I'm going to be using a brayer. If you're not familiar with a brayer, it's just like a rolling sponge, I guess is how, you know, like a rolling brush. That's what I say, like a paintbrush, a rolling paintbrush. It comes in a box that looks like this, although mine's been a little beat up. And it comes with 2 handles and 4 rollers. And you can pop them on and off. There's it just slides in and out. And you can actually rinse them and give them a little bit of a wash to reuse them for different colors. So when you're using a brayer, my tip is you don't really want to push. Like, I'm not applying pressure. I'm literally just letting my roller touch the top of it, and it's picking up the ink. If I were to push, once I was doing a class with a very beginner, hi Joanna, beginner stamper, and she pushed and actually caught the edge of the brayer into my new ink pad and ripped it. I was so sad. It still works, of course, but every time I see it, I think of her. And, you know, our ink pads are such high quality and they really are full of ink that the ink is just sitting on the top there. So it's no need to like push into it. So I just, you know, kind of roll it around. And then my second tip when you're looking for a gradient effect is to work from one side to the next. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to kind of work right to left. And that way the same side is always getting darker. And you're also going to know if you don't have a perfectly flat table, oh, you probably can't see it, but you're naturally going to pick up the highs and lows of the table. So make sure you move your cardstock around a little bit. No, it wasn't you. No, it was actually in a continuing ed class. You weren't even there. Nope. That's funny. So I just keep doing this like over and over and over again. And sometimes I just kind of like focus on the one end because I really want it to be dark on the one end. And then I just let the brayer go across. Again, move your cardstock unless you have a perfectly flat table, which mine isn't. Mine is wood and there's different planks in it. So definitely there's bumps and you can see it when you're rolling because you're like, that spot's not getting colored at all. You just have to move your paper a little bit. Oh, hi, Donna. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Hey, Amy. Oh, don't worry. I know you're putting your kiddos to bed. It's that time. Okay, so can you see the gradient effect? I guess you can, right? You can see that. So as long as I keep working like one side over, you'll get that effect. Now, if I were coloring and wanted the whole thing one color, then I would just kind of go all over the place and apply, you know what I mean, kind of go all over the place. But I'm not. I really want that gradient effect. And actually what I did in my original card, although I don't have it here ready to go right now, but I took the framelit that we're using. Actually, here it is. It's still in my trash can. Look. Oh, wait. Actually, this is the one I used. Well, we'll use this. So I ran it through Whisper White cardstock, and I was able to see if I liked the gradient. I could get a feel for what it was going to look like and if I needed to go darker, and actually I did, although this looks pretty okay. The other one, the very first time I did it, it just wasn't super dark on the one side, so I knew I had to go over it a little bit more. So this is, I'm just taking out my little extra pieces here. Now I'm going to grab my Big Shot, and I apologize because it's going to literally take up the whole screen. But I'm going to grab your Big Shot. I'm using the magnetic plate because it's going to hold down my framelit exactly where I want it, and it's not going to budge or move. If you don't have it, you need it. It's one of those things you have to have the magnetic plate. And I'm going to put my cardstock down. Actually, I guess my original cardstock was a little bit bigger because this is a tight squeeze, whereas before it fit, I had plenty of space. So maybe this Whisper White, don't cut it the same exact size as the other one. Cut this one just a smidge bigger. I think it still fits, but it's definitely, yeah, it still fits. It's just super tight. Okay, I think that cut. I'm gonna push all three first, and then hope they all went through. I apologize. I know every time I do this, it's shaking the camera for you. I'm trying to go slowly so it doesn't make you all car sick on me. Oh, this one pulled up. Is it cutting through? I feel like it's not cutting through. Oh, it's not cutting through. You know what? Earlier I went this way with it. Let me try twisting it around. Oh boy, people. There's always something, I swear. Wednesday nights, I cannot do this without some sort of a glitch. I think that's in the grooves. Oh, hi, Swan family. How's everyone tonight? Oh, the Swan boys, they're so cute. And Mrs. Swan is pretty good herself. Let's see, did that pop it up? Oh, there we go. Perfect. That's what should have happened the first time, I suppose. Oop. Sorry about that. I'll show you what I'm doing right now when I do my last one, but I'm just using the brush to pop it out so I can keep going. And this guy, so I don't know, for some reason mine needs to be put like this, like straight into it, not sideways. The sideways just wasn't cutting well. I don't know if they're all that way. You do it and let me know. Hopefully that worked. Okay, that one worked. And one more. Oh, I'm gonna put that guy over here, like so, and then run them through. Gotta love the Big Shot. It does so much. It's one of those things that's kind of an investment. you make the investment and then you kind of have it forever. Hi, Kathy from Live Oak. Okay, good, perfect. So how I got them out, my things just shifted, is I use this roller. I'm not sure what the official term is. I just call it a roller. And it actually comes with like a rectangle black, like sponge kind of thing. I don't use it. I just hold my framelit in my hand, the roller in my other hand, and I just brush. And I actually keep the cardstock kind of pressed up to it because I really just want everything to perfectly fall out. And then if there's a couple that are being stubborn, I just use my paper snips to pop them out. Ta-da! Beautiful. And a couple of these guys, not all of them came out, so let's just quickly pop them. Sometimes you can leave them in. Not sometimes you can. You can leave them in if you want. It gives kind of a different look. Which one? Missing this one. So I did that 3 times. Okay. Let me just put that away. Clean my board here. Clean surface. Okay, so this is the card. This is the one we're working on. So what I want is I want these 3 going straight across, and I only want them adhered in the middle. I don't know if you can see my card. Oh, it's kind of hard, but they are really like kind of flapping in the wind here. It gives it nice texture and makes it like more 3-dimensional. It's hard to catch on camera, but only the center is adhered down. So I just took my snail and literally ran it in the middle. And my black cardstock here is going to be covering that line, so it doesn't matter too much, you know, where it is. Now, when I did this guy, I did not get them centered. So I just kind of want to eyeball where they're going to go and then put them down. They were, the one was way off, so he had to get popped up, start all over again. Whoops, going flying. And there we go. Oh, yeah, I guess there's more space on this one. It's hard to eyeball it. Okay, we're gonna call that a day. Okay, so it's just adhered in the middle. The tops and the bottoms are kind of lifted still. Gives a nice kind of look. Big shot die brush. There you go. What did I call it? The roller? What did I, or the brush? I think I called it the roller. I don't know what I called it. This thing. So many times when I'm writing my blog, I want to go, now take the thingy. I don't know what the official term is, but take the thingy and it'll work. Okie dokies. So next, let's set these aside. I'm going to take, this is 1 by 4 1/4, basic black. And I stamped the words ahead of time. So I have you, and then I have thanks, and then I have an exclamation point. Now you're gonna say, wait a minute, it doesn't say thanks you. That doesn't make any sense. And I would say you would be correct. So we're gonna do a little word surgery, which I think is so fun, because you kind of like make it what you wanted to say. And I wanted to say thank you. I don't want it to say thanks you. So what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna do it. Let's see if I do it against the black, if you can see. So I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm gonna first trim off like this part and then leave like the big high like cursive K. It really is like doing surgery. So I'm just snipping off the S. Whoop, okay. That's what I'm left with. But, I mean, I guess it's fine. I thought it looked a little high, so I trimmed even that back. Does that look too high if I leave it like that? I felt like it did. So then I just took my paper snips. Now, all the ends end in a curve, so I didn't want to just cut it. I kind of, you know, did my curve. I don't think anyone's going to notice. Even that, I mean, it's not a perfect curve, but it does the job. Thank you. I'm not going to do the exclamation point yet because if I put it on my grid paper, I will for sure lose it. It's going to be lost here, especially that little dot. I'm always so afraid I'm going to lose the dot. So I'm going to put a teeniest, hold on, I got to do it on paper. Just a little, whoops, not like that, a little bit of liquid glue. This is just the Tombow liquid glue. Oh, looks perfect. Okay, good. I love the term word surgery. That's what it feels like, because you're like so, well, I am. I get so like, nervous. And then I'm like, scalpel. That's what it feels like, surgery. Oh, thanks, Lori. Okay, there's thank you. Now, this I struggled with because I did one and I had them all like up so the U wouldn't be hanging down so much. You know, like think was up higher, but I didn't like it. So whatever. The U tails are going to just hang off the basic black and all will be fine in the world. No one will care. Only me. I'm crazy. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's do it this way. Thank you. And then for these things are so itty bitty. It's, hold on, I'll show you. It's this guy right here. On Facebook, you might have seen earlier. When I first opened up the set, I think it was kind of like this, and I was like, why is there an eye? Why is there an extra eye? And then I was like, oh, it's an exclamation point. I mean, I got it. I figured it out eventually, but my very first thought was, why is there an I here? An extra I. Because I was thinking, like, do they want us to write I love you? Because you could. There's a love and there's a you. Maybe I'll do that, because that was literally my initial thought, was it was an I. And then we need this one, there we go. A little bit of, and this is where it feels like surgery, because you don't want it to do that. There we go. Plop him there. There. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. Whew. I thought I did it wrong for a second. I thought I did my exclamation point upside down. Okay. There's our thank you. Isn't that so fun? I just think that is so fun. I love doing word surgery. I wonder what else we could make. I mean, really, we could just, my card on Friday is word surgery too. I gave a little preview of it on my Facebook. When did I do that? Last week, I think it was. I did a little word surgery. It's like, ooh, the sky's the limit, really. Okay, so next, if I can find my dimensionals, there they are. You need a tweezer. I know I do. I know. It doesn't bother me, actually, to pick it up like this. You know, like picking it up. Did I show you this before? Look what I found on my scissors. Look at that. It's a pearl. I have no clue how that got there. But there's a pearl on my paper snips. Or take your pick tool. Yes. Okay, so I don't actually have it, Linda. Oh, that's such a bad thing to say as a demonstrator. I know. You go, Dr. Jaimie. That's awesome. I don't actually have the pick tool. I haven't bought it yet. I am not necessarily a gadget girl, and I much rather buy more stamps and things, and so I just haven't like bought it yet. I know that's such a bad thing to say as a demonstrator. Confession time. Okay, so I just put 3 dimensionals on the bottom and aim for straight. Again, I have my paper along the grid paper, kind of keeping it straight. So I got that far and I thought, okay, that's cute. I like that. You could send it just like that, right? Perfectly cute, perfectly fine. But I wanted to brighten it up just a little bit. Dental tweezers. Then I'd really feel like a doctor doing surgery. So what I used, comes with 3 of these like flowers, these framelits, which are nice because I only had to go through the big shot 3 times, as opposed to if they only gave us 1, I'd have to do it 9 times. And I made these flowers. And really, I mean, if we wanted to go all out, we could even put like little pearls inside the flowers, or rhinestones. I kept them kind of rustic. I didn't put anything in the middle. So there's no rhyme or reason to where I put them. I just started on the right and was like, here's a good place. Here's a good place. And what's kind of neat is that the flowers glue down to the vines and not the pool party underneath. Although, yeah. So they still kind of stay 3-dimensional. It doesn't glue the vines down, which I liked. Oops. Oops. Kitty cat here. So we put 1 there, and I did 9 of these. And again, because Stampin' Up! Gave us 3 of them, it really made cutting them out go quickly. Nice finishing touch. Oh, thanks, Lori. I'm telling you, these framelits are amazing. Not only can you do tons of word surgery and write all kinds of things, but I'm glad that they came with other, images, like these vines and the flowers and even the butterfly, because, it really expands their possibilities, which I like. It makes it easier to mail without the extra bumps from the pearls. Oh, that's true. Yep. I forget, who was it? Was it Kathy? One of my customers, I sent them I can't remember who it was, sent them a card with pearls on it, and they showed me a picture of the envelope. It was like completely destroyed. So lesson learned, from now on, whenever I send pearls and rhinestones, and I'm sure you all know this, but I put a thing of scrap paper over it because the envelope was just mutilated. It did not hold up well. Okay, one there. And let's see here, one over here. How about there? Like so. So the Well Written Framelits, they're in the Occasions catalog right now. And like I said, you can put them in the bundle with the Well Said stamp set, or you can buy them just by themselves. And I use them all the time. Like I said, they're going to be in my card on Friday. I really have to hold myself back. I'm like, okay, you've used this enough. Give some love to something else. Can't have stamp favorites, although we all know we have our stamp favorites. Okay, ta-da, all done. What do you think? No stamping, not one stamp was used. The DSP backers work great as covers for your cards. Oh, that's true. Yeah, totally. Instead of I always just throw them away. Well, I recycle them. Oh, thanks, Linda. Okay, so that's that. Again, this all uses the Well Written Framelits here. Okay, if you missed it and you're catching it kind of late. Oops. They're stuck together. All that gloriousness. Okay. If you have any questions about any of the products, certainly let me know. If you've been watching and haven't left a comment of some sort, please do so, even if it's just an emoji or whatever, because as soon as this is done, I'm going to draw someone's name to win tonight's card, and you're going to want it. I think it's super cute. I think it's a fun, like, right now it's snowing outside, but spring's around the corner, so it kind of gives you some hope for that. So thank you, ladies, so much for crafting with me tonight and for checking out this video. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will certainly see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.